So, welcome to a quick guide on the setup and successful operation of the Enigma machine in the kick-ass video game The Beast Inside. This happens around the end of Chapter 3. You're on the phone, you get a phone call, you hang up the phone and make your way to your office to sit down in front of your desk and decode a message using the Enigma machine. Now, there's some weird, almost glitchy stuff going on here that can get you stuck. Beyond that, it's pretty straightforward, and you could probably get through it. But there's some weird stuff that can happen that can have you literally like pulling your hair out. Now, the game's going to walk you through the setup of a test run, and you do that by reading the manual on the inside cover of the machine here.
So, how do I do it again? First, let's take a look at the manual. Open the cover and place the cylinders. Easy. I need to remember that each cylinder goes into a specific position. Okay, the first part's done. Now it's time to set the cogs. Piece of cake. Now for the last step, the wires at the bottom. Right, now I just have to plug that in using the right order. That's it. Now I just need to enter the password.
So the manual walks you through all of that, and then it gives you a password.
I have to be careful. If I click the wrong letters, I'll have to reset the cogs.
And you can't do it wrong because it'll mess everything up. So be careful. And you'll notice on the piece of paper to your right, it's spelling out the word Friday. If it doesn't spell out the word Friday, you did something wrong, and you gotta do it over.
Okay, it works. I can get down to it.
So now it's time to reset up your machine and crack your code. Now this new table here shows us our new configuration. The first column is the setup of the cogs. The cogs are labeled accordingly. The second column is the numbers you dial your cogs into, and the third column, of course, is the wires that plug in on the bottom of the machine. What we need to figure out now is which row to use. Out of all these rows, one of them is appropriate, and if you sit and hover in the struggle copter long enough, eventually the game will throw you this hint.
Number 17 looks correct. I'll use that configuration and see if my hunch was right.
So it wants you to use the configuration in row 17, but here's the potentially glitchy bit. If you mess it up, you're going to get an error.
Not like that. I think that someone used one of the configurations from the code table.
So when this happened to me, I just said, "Oh, I'll just go back and reconfigure everything, and it'll work." And I did it 3 or 4 times, and it just kept giving me the same error. It just did not work. Did not work. Eventually, I had to go back to the title screen, click the load the last checkpoint button, which brought me back to the end of the phone call, which is pretty much the beginning of this video. And I had to run back in here, sit down, and just start configuring everything from the beginning. It wasn't that big of a deal, and then it eventually worked. If you mess up typing the message, you can always go back and click the little reset eraser that's glowing next to the Enigma machine. And eventually, like so, the instead of getting the error message, it'll start to type out the correct message. Once you've typed the correct message, the game will progress and you've successfully cracked the code. If you keep getting the error message, you really have no choice but to go back and click the load last checkpoint button, and then all you got to do is run back in the room, sit down, and pretty much start over. That's all you got to do. I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, please subscribe. There's a link in the description box below to a playlist of the entire game for your viewing pleasure. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.